listening to Reality Wrap. I'm your host, Melanie. Thanks for listening and enjoy the show. Hey guys, we're back. I've got Sideshow Sean here with me.
Hey everyone, how are we doing tonight?
So we apologize for not recording last week. We took a trip to Denver. Obviously, we weren't going to record. Sean actually wanted to record for Beverly Hills, and I was like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Anyway, so today we are going to be recapping last night's episode of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 13, Episode 17, which was the season finale.
Did you really think that was like a finale episode? Because it felt more like a pasting of content that we put a smattering of commercials around because we needed to grab an extra
Well,
episode.
It was surprising to me how short the white party was. I think it was only like 20 minutes of the season, or 20 minutes of the episode.
We had 3 episodes that seemed like 4 in Spain or wherever they were.
Yeah.
And
really,
quick.
the end of Spain almost seemed like a wrap-up.
Right, and it's like I thought that was supposed to probably be the wrap-up. And
No, I don't think so. I think the white party was. It was just, the ending of Spain was weird. It was like they were wrapping up the season, but then they came home and did this white party.
Yeah, and then we had this, family meeting, at the end, which was clearly taped after the season with the girls.
Yeah.
It was a weird episode. I don't know. Maybe I don't want to be negative, but yeah, just...
Well, okay, so what I was going to ask you was, now that the season's over, what would you overall rate the season? A, B, C, D, E, F.
I'm going to have to give it a B.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm going to give it a B because here's why. When I rate it against the other content that is currently out there, It's definitely a B because there's a lot of F's and D's right now.
Yeah.
So I think Beverly Hills is a B. It could be an A. It needs to be zhuzhed up a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think overall, it was, of the shows that we watch, it was the ones that, we enjoyed about that level.
Yeah.
Relatively, it's a B.
It's easy to watch. I'll give it that much. I'm going to give it like a C. Yeah. Maybe even a C minus.
Wow.
Because...
Bum, bum, bum.
Only because had the stuff with Kyle and Mauricio not come out, that would have been the season.
I agree, but I knew that up front. You had told me that this was all going to happen, and so as we were all season kind of guessing, they inserted this, they inserted that.
Right, you could tell what
that almost made it
inserted.
Fun in a different way. Almost like we're looking for Pokemons at McDonald's now or something silly like that. It's like it's no longer we're watching the show, but characteristics about the show are interesting. And for me, that helped because it was a little boring. Yeah. Even
after we found out that they picked cameras up after the Mo and Kyle stuff came out, they really hyped up this season before it aired.
That's true.
And I was like,
but that's their job. Bravo's not going to come out and say, please watch our show. It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to.
Anyway.
I did like the shade that was towards Vanderpump.
I know. Kyle was really like on a tear this episode.
All of a sudden.
Yeah, it was weird.
She just went poke and then poked her twice.
Yeah.
I was like, interesting. I wonder if there was an off-camera exchange.
It's funny. I should have gone to see if Lisa Vanderpump commented at all on her social media.
Why don't we?
Okay, pause. Okay, we're back. So we checked Instagram. It does not appear that Lisa has said anything. I checked a couple of my normal websites that I read all the Housewives tea. I do not see anything. So today's only Wednesday, though. Nope, sorry, today is Thursday. So as of Thursday at, what time is it? Let's just say it's 5 o'clock for recording purposes. She has not said anything. You know what? She might not even entertain a response.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
But she does like to take little jabs just as well. She's just as petty, so.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it was entertaining. It was funny to watch.
It was interesting. I was like, wow, where's
Kyle's gone a long time without even mentioning her, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden, 2 very unveiled comments.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's go ahead and get into the recap. We see Kyle meeting up with Erika and she at the SoFi Stadium, which is where she's having her white party.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I love Kevin. I love Kevin with Vanderpump.
She.
I don't know why, man. I could never afford
He's
him.
so over the top. I think that's what you love.
I would just want him at the party. Like, you don't need to throw the party.
Well, he was
bro.
there.
Just come to the party and let's just have a good time. Yeah.
Well, that's what he does. He's a party planner.
Oh, my God. He'd be so much fun.
Anyway, I can't figure out why she picked such a large venue. I have to believe that she got it for free because once you see like how little her party looked on this like massive football field seems like not intimate to me. You know what I mean? Seemed weird. She had to have gotten that venue for free. And I think she said she did like a
Well, didn't
direct
you notice
TV
the TV commercials?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was like 4 commercials.
Yeah.
With the same name as the stadium.
She did say on the after show that she had done the white party for so many years and that it got so big, she stopped doing them. So she hadn't done them, I don't know, in the last couple of seasons. And she's like, it got to the point where I didn't know all the people who were in my house. I had just moved into my new house. And so I just stopped doing them. But she decided to bring them back. And I was like, okay, so maybe that's why. But she could have been having them at a restaurant or some other venue all this time.
Who knows why she stopped doing it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we used to throw big parties. And
Not like that. $400,000.
No. Relatively big. Big for us.
Also, I question that she actually spent that much money on the venue.
That might have just been the cost of the party.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of it was
Kyle
donated.
spent $400,000. It said cost of the party. My guess is Bravo paid for $399,999.
No, I don't think Bravo pays for the parties.
They probably got the venue for free. You probably go to the caterers and say, "Do you want to do this?" Okay,
Yeah,
great. It's
you
highly
can be
discounted or free.
Right.
I don't think Bravo or anyone's paying for a whole lot because there's housewives and house husbands watching this. So yeah, you're gonna get it for free.
Yeah.
I would if I was a caterer.
Oh, for sure. Anyways, Erika is excited to perform at Kyle's white party. She feels like this is a warm-up for her Vegas residency and a way for her to redeem herself. We switch over to Sutton and her daughter Porter, which I love that name, and they're out shopping for jewelry because Sutton wants to show her daughter that as a woman, she can do it on her own. She ends up buying a pair of sapphire earrings that were worth $68,000, but I have to be honest, I didn't really like them.
I did.
Did you?
I don't think any piece of jewelry is worth that kind of money. So I don't have that context, right, to spend that on just a single piece of jewelry.
It's an investment.
But
you could probably resell
them.
Could
be. Yeah, I don't know. But looking at it, I thought it was attractive. I also thought she has blue eyes, and that's why she picked that blue.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. Give me one of those diamond tennis bracelets.
Now they pulled out big. They really made her eyes pop.
What about the $9 million ring? I was like, I'll take a $9 million house.
I would have put my hands up like that was dynamite that was just lit. And get that away from me. I don't want to even near that thing.
Yeah, what if I drop it and it rolls under or something?
No, and I would beg you, please don't touch it.
So she tells us in her talking head that she wants to show her daughter that she is not a cliche of a wealthy woman and that she goes to work. Now, I like Sutton. She cracks me up, but when she was like, my store survived the pandemic, I'm like, your store survived the pandemic because you were putting your own money into that store. There's no way she was in the black coming out of the pandemic from that store, unless she was selling stuff online. I don't know.
Here's the thing, and I don't want to come off any one way or the other, but she was there from the beginning. He would not have the life he had. He would not be able to work the hours he worked. He wouldn't be able to have the family he had or the house he had or anything. None of it would have existed without her help.
Right. I'm not denying that. Okay. I 100%.
I thought you were going to
No. I didn't like the way she was kind of implying that she is where she is now because of the work from her store and the show. I'm sure she makes good money from the show, but she's not, like, she's worth a lot of money, and it's not from her tiny little store in Beverly Hills, and it is not from filming this show. It's from the alimony she receives every month and her divorce settlement.
But at least she's trying to run a business with the money. At least she takes a job with the TV show that she doesn't need. She doesn't need this job, but she's doing it anyways. And so I think that's what she's showing her daughter is put yourself out there. Because her daughter probably has far more money than she does.
Oh, well, yeah.
And so what she's saying is don't just sit home and cash checks. Right. Do something with it, success or failure.
Yeah, okay.
And I think that's great.
Sorry if you can hear all of our animals have decided to join us.
That's our kitty, Sugar Booger.
Our cat, one of our cats, Sugar, is meowing.
She's meowing at the dog. She's mad at him.
And Odin is getting ready to chase her. So we now see the day of the white party, and the party does look beautiful. But it was so dwarfed.
Kevin, well done, brother.
Yes.
Well done.
But it was so dwarfed by this giant stadium. It was this tiny little white box in the middle of this giant green field. I'm like, it kind of looks, I don't know. It was lost in all the space.
I think the one thing that if I were to critique it, it wouldn't have been any of that. I thought it was actually beautiful. I thought the way he centered it was perfect. I would have, though, had like a white train or something coming
from
through
the tunnel.
walk. Yeah, from the tunnel. And he might have, and it wasn't long enough for something like that. He might be ripping his hair out. But that would be the only thing is it really was not attached to anything. Other than that, I thought it was great.
So Kyle sees the dance floor and it has her name on it. And she asks him to take it off because she's embarrassed over it. And then she makes another shady dig at
Fake.
Lisa Vanderpump that Kevin is used to planning parties for people who think the party is all about
That was
them.
the first dig. Kyle, you can be as mad at Lisa as you want, but you gals are cut from the same cloth on a lot of things.
What I also found interesting is in the past, the white parties were always thrown by her and Mauricio. And the floor just said Kyle. Did not have Mo.
Oh, that is excellent.
Yeah,
point.
it did not have Mo's name.
See, and that tells me even more that there is a little manipulation going on, maybe.
Manipulation? How?
That Kyle did in fact
was pointing
imply
out
that
to
she
Mo.
wanted her name on the floor.
Yeah, could be. Like, I did this.
Right, I did this. Not you, Mr. Parking Lot.
We see all the ladies getting ready. Rob is upset because he can't find his white jacket. I don't know why he makes me laugh, though. He was like, where's my white jacket? And she's like, I don't know. I asked you all week if you knew where it was. And then he's like, I have to go call so-and-so. Must have been their housekeeper or something. And he goes walking.
Oh, man.
We see Dorit talking to PK on the phone. Or at this point, I think we should just change his name to London because that is always where he is. He's still there, even though this was on his calendar. But I guess he had to extend his trip for work. I'm going to be honest. I'm not even really sure what PK does for a living. I know he manages Boy George, but really how much action is Boy George getting? Like how much work is he getting?
Was he signing a new client?
I don't know. He does also do something with real estate. He had a real estate show over in London.
But we know people in real estate and they're able to do at least some of their work remotely.
But I don't know.
Not.
It's very weird that he's gone to London like all the time.
So did you notice the math behind the 25 days, 39 days, a month later, and yet he's on the phone again? When we first saw how long he was gone in London, it was 25 days. Then at the end of the episode, it said he returned on day 39.
Yeah.
Then it goes 30 days later or 1 month later, and she's talking to him, and he's in London.
On London.
He was at home for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're right.
He was home for like 2 bloody weeks, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You're right. Yeah, I don't get it. What's he doing over there?
So
what's
you were
going
gone
on?
for 39 days. You're home for, let's give him 20 days. He's home for 20 days. What's going on there?
I don't know. Why is he always over there?
I don't know a lot about real estate or Boy George, other than I'm a fan of a lot of his music. I think Boy George even would be like, hey, bro, go spend time with your family.
Yeah, right?
I don't need you here.
Yeah.
I'm a grown man.
I don't get it. Anyways, Mo arrives. He's looking for Kyle. I was kind of surprised they didn't come together. I guess she went there to get ready by herself with the girls. He clearly had no idea what this party was going to look like because he came in and he was like, oh, wow, cool, look at this. Of course, he said hello to all the girls that were standing in the tunnel. I was like, oh my God, Mo. We find out later that he thought it was going to be in the parking lot because that is how disconnected he is from what's going on.
Yeah. There's burying yourself in your business and then there's hiding from your family. And I think that's what we're saying a lot with Mo.
Yeah.
He is justifying failed marriage with his success in business.
Yeah, right? He's too busy.
He's swapping one out for the other.
So,
well, and maybe because he's finding better results and better dopamine hits, basically, off the business. And it's too much of a struggle to find that success with Kyle.
That's kind of sad.
It is, because I think if he put in half the effort with Kyle, that he would, not even half, a tenth of the effort with Kyle.
Well, she made that point herself. She says when there's a problem, and with his agency, he spends the time to figure out the problem and fix it. When I went to him and told him there was a problem with our marriage, he didn't put the time in to fix it.
Right. And so you've either begun to commoditize the marriage to the point of apathy, or there's even a bigger problem. You want out, basically.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're seeing.
Kind of obvious, yeah. Everybody starts to arrive. Garcelle looks gorgeous. So does Crystal. We see Cynthia Bailey and Jeff Lewis. Camille, Denise, and Big Dick Aaron arrive. She's wearing a pink coat. I was kind of like, why is she wearing pink? And he was wearing jeans. Kyle and her daughters come out, and they all look gorgeous. I loved Kyle's hair, but I have to admit, I did not quite understand her dress. I was not a fan of that dress.
You know, Kyle's always struggled with these wardrobes.
I know, like a reunion
She had a good year this year, I will say that. But she has worn everything from tablecloths to curtains to
prom dresses.
Yeah. But I think she's dialing it in, and she just had a rough night.
Yeah, I don't know. I also found it interesting that it was just Kyle and her girls that made the entrance, and Mo was already out there mingling like he was a guest. I think he was eating. Like he was eating, and Sutton was like, we have an entrance, Mo. She was looking for Mo, like your wife and daughters are coming in, and he was eating. We see Kyle walk up to Jeff Lewis, and she tells him that he needs to fix what he said about her taking Ozempic on his podcast, and says, I've never taken anything like that. And I have to say, when I first saw her weight loss, I really was like, she's taking Ozempic, because that was kind of like when it was coming out that everybody was on this Ozempic shot, and she was like denying. But now that I've watched the season and you see how obsessively she's working out, she's very lean and muscular. She's not just losing fat where she's like skinny with no muscle. Like you could see she's built. Anyways, he tells her he had already announced that she wasn't on Ozempic, and he apologized, and I think he sent her flowers or something like that. He's like, I already took care of it. So it was funny to see him nervous, because usually he's like, he doesn't give a shit about.
I'll say that he doesn't age. I mean, he looks good.
He does. I don't know how old he is. He's got to be well into his 50s.
Yeah, but I saw his show like 6 or 7 years ago.
I think it was longer than that.
And he had that assistant that reminded me of Elaine from Seinfeld.
Oh, yeah. What was her name?
She was cool.
That was longer than 5 or 6 years ago, wasn't it?
Okay. Well, then I'm doubling down. He looks great.
Yeah. We hear Garcelle and Sutton talking about Steve. That was the guy that Sutton was kind of dating. And apparently he ghosted her for a couple of days. So she was like, yeah, no, that's not going to work. And I was like, good for you. Life's too short to put up with that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah, but then she gave up men altogether. Like, that was weird.
She is on Tinder. I don't know if it was on Watch What Happens Live or on the after show. She made a comment that she got rid of her lady, the matchmaker, and now she's on Tinder. So, whatever. Wow. Maybe she doesn't need like a full-time guy. She just needs like a hookup.
A release.
Yeah, a hookup. We see Erika backstage with Mikey and her dancers, and she looks hot. I loved that outfit she had on. She just really good. And we see them do a prayer before she goes out, and Erika says that the only joy she has is when she's on stage. I was like, oh.
That sucks.
Well, I mean, that's where she's her happiest. I don't know that it sucks. That's just where, she's her happiest.
But her only joy.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I'm sure it takes her mind off of all the lawsuits and stuff that she's going through. Anyways, Kyle gets up and introduces Erika, and we see Erika coming out wearing what I would compare to a boxer's robe. I was like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
It was a little much considering it was just Kyle's white party, but whatever. I honestly thought this was going to be some sort of a promo for her residency spinoff, but I don't know if that's on Bravo. That could be on another network. I do know they do a spinoff for her residency.
Oh, okay.
And I thought that's what this was going to be, because it was super hyped up, and it was very...
She's like, I got to make this work or my momentum is over.
And I was like, you're at a white party. Like,
your momentum is over.
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed kind of odd. Before she starts, we get a hot mic moment from Denise talking about how Erika's going to lip sync. And it's a good thing the cameras are far away.
I love you.
And then she's like, I'm such a bitch.
Yes, you are, but you're our bitch.
What's interesting is I was listening to Tamara and Teddy's podcast, and they were recapping this. And Tamara, I think it was Tamara, or Carlos King, Carlos King was on there, asked where she was, why she wasn't at it. And she goes, if I don't get paid to film, I don't show up. And so she was like, are you saying that Denise didn't get paid? She's like, I don't know. And I was like, oh, so maybe Denise was just going to go? I can't imagine she would show up and not get paid.
Put the camera on Denise. Give Denise a podcast. I want more Denise. She is an amazing...
kind of, but I'm kind of mad at her for throwing that chef under the bus. And
I don't like that.
No, she basically said that the guy gave her...
But that's just it. The world according to Denise with a question mark upside down?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like her jacket?
Yes.
So Erika performs. She performs It's Expensive to Be Me, which is a great song, but I have to say I thought it was a tad tone deaf considering all the lawsuits that she and Tom are in, but she killed it. I thought she performed really great.
That's the thing, and I'm glad you kind of brought that up. So we said earlier with the redemption, and it's like, this is my redemption. No, it's not.
Mm-mm.
I think she needs to listen to her friends, and not the friends that have apologized. The friends that are refusing to apologize. Not that
they still are in their
right,
belief.
Because they believe that.
It was Garcelle, wasn't it?
Right. Here's the thing. If those friends don't see any empathy, then they will never give any sympathy. It's that simple.
Yeah.
And I think that's the redemption. And she needs it for herself. She should emotionally acknowledge the fact that people were hurt.
I should play for you this it's like a commercial that was going around on Instagram. And it's basically all the Girardi clients who he stole from. Let me find it.
We're former Girardi Keys clients. Of course, Erika Jane was assigned our attorney fees.
We're former Girardi Keys clients. Of course we watch Beverly Hills Housewives to see how Erika spends our money.
We're former Girardi Keys clients. Of course we'd rather have a root canal than hire another lawyer.
We're former Girardi Keys clients. Of course, Tom's indicted son-in-law was our attorney.
We're former Girardi Keys clients. Of course we got our settlement money stolen.
We're former Girardi Keys clients. Of course Aaron Brockovich blocked us on Twitter.
We're former Girardi Keys clients. Of course, I wrote a book about our lawsuit.
We're former Girardi Keys clients. Of course we're still waiting for lawmakers to do something.
We're former Girardi Keys clients. Of course we have proof, receipts, timelines, screenshots, fucking everything to prove that Girardi is a fucking thief.
Okay, I love those ladies. Who are they again?
Are you kidding me? They said who they were like 10 fucking times in that.
Oh.
They're Girardi Keys clients. You idiot.
I thought they were like a parody or something like that.
No, I think they're really clients.
Oh.
Anyways,
I
it's
thought
got to
they
be
were
relatively recent because they were doing the thing like
The Heather, yeah.
Receipts,
Receipts,
screenshots, timeline.
Made me relive that horror.
Anyways, that was floating around the internet yesterday. I thought it was pretty interesting. So yeah, as to why Erika would choose the song "Expensive to Be Me" to perform, I was like, yeah, that's a little tone deaf, but whatever. We then hear Kyle say that Erika's back, and Dorit calls her a real showman. I was like, again, this is Kyle's white party. None of these people paid money to go see Erika perform.
None of them even
She
got
was
dressed
entertainment
to see Erika
right?
perform.
I totally thought that the fanfare around her performance was a bit overhyped. It was good. I thought she really nailed it, but I'm like, it's literally like 100 people.
I thought she looked good. I thought she lip synced very well.
I
see what I just did there?
It was hard to see. Yeah, I get it. We get to see Erika's title card, and it says she's planning on doing more shows in 2024. We now get Dorit's title card, and it's that PK finally came home after 39 days, and she and Kyle have not spoken since December. She also kind of alludes that she and PK might not stay together, but I kind of feel like at this point...
You're not together now.
Well, they're not together now, and I feel like she's doing it to stay on the show, because really, what did she bring us this season? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
No. Her narrative on the... I feel terrible that she was robbed and that there was a gun to her head. It was like 3 years ago.
That was it. And she's not friends with Kyle anymore.
She's not friends with Kyle.
She's not friends with Garcelle or any of them. She's really kind of on an island by herself.
She went snarky in the early season, kind of alienated herself, and
that was
now
it.
she's on Monica Island, apparently, yeah.
8.5 says she is no longer going to give out medical advice at parties, which, bye, Anne-Marie.
That's probably wise. Nah, Anne-Marie needs to come back.
No!
She causes...
Shut up, Sean.
She causes... It's Sideshow Sean to you. She causes a lot of drama, and I think that... Well, sometimes it's cringingly uncomfortable. I don't know. When she helped Crystal out, I thought that was a redeeming point.
She's a medical professional. That's her job. Any
you know
doctor would have jumped in there.
These crazy ladies drinking and eating in the sun the way they do, I'd keep her around too.
Anyways, Garcelle is basking in being a mom and a grandmother, and also the movie that she did. We see Sutton take a nosedive at the party. She tripped over the stage. I was like, and she hit hard. It was like, whap. I was like, oh my God. Everyone's like, Sutton, are you okay? And they all help her up. And then she's like, Avi, why did you push me?
That was amazing.
I know. I was like, Avi. We need more Avi.
We do.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I like Avi.
Her card is that she is continuing to grow Sutton brands and that she put dating on hold to spend time with her horse, Santos. We now go to 1 month later. As we all know, they picked up cameras again to film the news about Mo and Kyle being separated. We see everybody's reaction to the People magazine article that Kyle and Mo are separated. Crystal's husband, Rob, immediately wants to know who leaked the story, and he speculates that it was Morgan who leaked it. And Crystal's like, what?
No.
Sutton is on the phone with Garcelle, reviewing all the signs of trouble throughout the season in Kyle's marriage and how Kyle lied to all of them this whole time, which, I mean, duh. Obviously, Kyle didn't want to film it. I really think now more than ever, Mo had an affair or another affair or whatever, and she was trying to maybe protect him so the girls didn't find out.
Here's the thing on Sutton. Unless she all of a sudden was hired as a producer of the show, it's none of her damn business. And the way I think she poked and prodded, let's just take it out of a Real Housewife setting and just take it to a normal group of friends now doing their whatever, their bunko or something like that, right? And then you have one friend going after another like that. It's totally inappropriate.
It is, but it was also inappropriate of Kyle to really point out Sutton's esophagus problem and how maybe she has an eating disorder and how maybe she has a drinking problem.
Completely agree.
So, and how many times have we seen Kyle tell other people, just be honest.
And now put the reality back in this, and that's really what's influencing a lot of the behavior. Right?
But
I don't think Sutton's insane.
No.
Nor is Kyle.
I think Sutton's looking at it. Sutton is looking at it from a TV point of view.
I need a storyline.
Right, not even a storyline, just
it was a
like
heck of a story.
We all have to share all of our lives and all of our bullshit. You don't have to share yours. You call other people out for not sharing their shit, yet you're hiding this all season.
But then got super upset when Anne-Marie did a very similar thing to Sutton about her esophagus as Sutton was doing to Kyle about her marriage.
Yeah, but I feel like Sutton kind of got over the esophagus thing relatively easily.
Yes, and Anne-Marie was a lot more aggressive about it, but they had parallels, those situations. Yeah. And I think a lot of that, again, is because of the show.
Also, on the after show, was it Sutton or Garcelle? One of them said that they thought that it was Mo or Kyle that leaked it. I was like, no way.
No.
Not at all. Because she was saying basically when that article came out, they were up in Aspen. It was July 3rd, and they were with their girls, and they were getting ready to go like paddleboarding or something, and all their phones started going off. And she looked at her phone, and she saw her girls looking at their phone. And Mo was like unloading the car. He was totally oblivious to it. And she said she froze because she was like, oh my God, she saw what the girls were reading, and she didn't know what to do.
I think actually it was Garcelle.
She leaked it?
Wait a minute. No, let me finish.
Oh.
I think it was Garcelle with the candlestick in the drawing room.
Oh my God. I think it was a hair or makeup person who was probably sitting there while she was talking to somebody about it.
Do you think it could be Heather's hair and makeup person?
What was her name?
I don't know. She doesn't want to be famous, so I forgot her name.
Oh shit, what was her name?
I don't know.
She forgot. Didn't want to be, anyways, who cares? So we're now over at Kyle's, and she is looking at all the social media reaction to her and Mo separating. I was like, what are you doing? Put your phone down and walk away. And I really felt for her because it was out now, and I'm sure to her it made it feel super real. She had been dealing with it privately. Her and Mo had been dealing with it privately. They didn't tell their daughters or anything. It was private between him and her. And then once it's out, it's out. And
super real.
It's super real, and you have all these people who want to come and ask you questions, and they want to talk to you, and they want to know if you're okay, and it just makes it that much more real. So I really did feel for her. They were married 27 years, and some people were implying that their marriage was fake. I'm like, who fakes a 27-year long marriage? I'm like, what? I mean, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah, she was saying that on Watch What Happens Live. There were actually people who said that I was faking my marriage. Insane. I was like, what? What's wrong with you people?
Come on.
Anyway, as not so much from a reality and watching it on TV, I really felt for her because, I mean, that's a long time to spend with somebody. And it's 4 kids together. They built this empire and...
Love his work?
Yeah.
Mo's putting his work into...
The agency.
And it's...
Well, it also kind of sounds like Mo might be putting his dick into somebody else.
That certainly, you don't even need to go there. If you're not working on a relationship, it will stagnate. Obviously, with infidelity, it's going to go a lot quicker. But,
Yeah. So Erika comes over to Kyle's, and in her talking head, she says that when she was going through her divorce, that Kyle was always there for her. So it was important for her to be there for Kyle. I also found it interesting that it was Erika and not Dorit that came over. In the past, it would have been Dorit.
That's the thing about Erika. While she has moments where you certainly question her loyalty she does have these moments almost of nobility.
It is, yeah. She's a very complex person.
Comes in and does this like, what, really?
Yeah, like in a jam, she is the person you want there, standing up for you, fighting for you, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In a jam,
you want her there on your trial.
Right.
You want her there on your trial.
She's a ride or die.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to you messing with her money, suddenly she's, bitch, who are you?
Yeah, she'll grab a knife and show it to you.
Yeah. Erika apologizes to Kyle for not noticing that there was something going on and not being an observant friend, that she might have missed any signs that there were problems. And Kyle's like, well, there really wasn't anything to observe because we were really keeping it private. We were dealing with it privately. Kyle tells her, you know, there have been things that I have needed in my marriage and I just didn't get them. Now I feel like I'm letting everybody down. And Erika gives her the best advice.
Somebody else's opinion can off. You have to make yourself happy. You've raised these girls. You've been a good wife to this man. You've been a great sister, a great daughter. But if you're not happy inside, whatever that means for you, you must take that time and find out what you need and where you need to go with this life. And if we can't work it out.
Yeah, I thought that was really great advice.
Yeah, you kids are grown, live your life.
Yeah. Isn't the divorce statistic wise that a lot of people who finally, once they reach the empty nest, end up divorcing?
I don't know.
Because it comes down to where you have the kids, you're busy, you're living life, and then the kids are gone, and now you're just left with this person who you don't really know anymore because everything else had been in the way, and now...
You only know him as dad.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like that's a statistic, but I'd have to stop and look it up, and I'm not gonna. So if you guys are curious, have at it. Google is your friend.
Research.
It's now 1 week later, and Mo and Kyle call the girls down to discuss what's going on between them. And I have to believe that they did this before off camera, because if they didn't, and this was the first time they were sitting down to talk about it, that would be so shitty. And also, I really didn't think they should have had Portia filming this. She's only 15, and then we actually see her break down and cry. I was like, you guys, this is kind of much for a 15-year-old girl to have to do on camera. I'm not really sure why they did that.
It is a bit much.
So they talk about how they're trying to work things out and taking a little space from each other. And then Kyle makes a point of saying that they're trying to give each other space while they're living under the same roof. And then Mo chimes in and says, not necessarily. And Kyle just kind of looks at him. I was like, wow, what was that?
I felt, maybe I missed it, but it seemed like she was implying that they were going to try to work it out somehow. And he's like, no.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
We're not.
Well, then Kyle says, what I mean is that I don't want to have to leave the house, and I don't want Dad to leave the house. So we're trying to do it under the same roof. But again, it was super weird. Like, I felt like...
The way she phrased it was poor, and it implied that they were trying to work on the marriage as opposed to amicably work on a separation.
Yeah.
And he very quickly corrected her.
He's moved on.
He's moved on. Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
And she's either moved on, but she doesn't want to
He's
just
being a
admit
sweetheart, but he wants his girls to understand
Yeah.
right here and there what's happening.
I think they're done.
That's the right way to do it. Don't put out false hope.
They asked Dorit, do you think Mo and Mauricio will get back together? And she says no. I don't think they will.
Huh.
So I don't
Why
think they
would
will
they?
either. We then get Kyle's final talking head, and she says there is a really big chance that we will not be together, and that there were things that happened that broke her trust. And then on Watch What Happens Live last night, somebody asked a question about what it was, and she was like, I don't really know if I can get into it. And Andy says, you know, we do cover that at the reunion pretty extensively as to what happened. So, I mean, something that broke her trust, I would guess it's an affair or maybe communication with another woman. But there's been a lot of smoke around Mo
Lies,
for...
adultery, it's not good.
No.
Like, when you break someone's trust, it's not because you handed them money.
Yeah. So anyways, that is how the season ended. And then we got some clips of the reunion. It looks like Sutton faints when Kathy comes out onto the stage. And I don't know if that's just the way they edit it to make it look like Kathy comes out and then she faints, or if that just happened after Kathy had come out on stage.
Well, we have accused Kathy of being a monster.
Yes, true.
So
she would scare me.
Maybe she just got a little nervous around Monster. She was going to give her a hug and fainted instead.
Yeah. Anyways, that's all we have for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills season finale. Next week, we will be back to start recapping the reunion. So we will talk to you guys then. Bye.
Bye, everyone.